Did you work really hard on your recipe costing cards and hope that you were going to be one step closer to controlling your food costs only to discover your food costs are still running high? Did you ever wonder if, well, your recipe costing cards might be incorrect or that you forgot something really important? If you can associate with either of these or want to make sure your recipe costing cards are accurate, stay with me. Hey there, Restaurant Pro. This is Dave Scott Peters, restaurant expert, coach, and creator of the Restaurant Prosperity Formula. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked but imperative for accurate recipe costing and managing your food cost effectively: the oil factor. You might be wondering why. Despite meticulous planning, your actual food costs are consistently higher than your projections. One of the culprits could be as simple as, well, yet as essential as fryer oil. Yes, you heard that right. Many restaurants miss including fryer oil in their recipe costing cards, leading to discrepancies in their food cost calculation and affecting your bottom line. In this tip, we're exploring why oil is a key ingredient, not just in your dishes, but in your costing strategies, and how incorporating it accurately can be a game changer for your financial management. Let's get started and uncover the secrets of mastering your food costs with precision. So, something called the oil factor. Well, think about it this way. You buy oil as food. You use fryer oil as food. Yet if it's not in your recipe costing cards, you're missing something really important. You're missing costs in that recipe card. So then when you calculate your ideal food cost, which is your accurate up-to-date recipe costing cards, what you sell those items for, and how many you sold using your product mix, your PMix report out of your POS system, it says your ideal or theoretical food cost is X. Let's call it 30% for just shits and grins. Well, when all of a sudden you're running a 37% food cost and you go, what the hell's going on? When you know that a rock star kitchen manager or chef is going to run 1.5 to 2 points above, a good kitchen manager or chef is 3 to 4 points above, but 7 to 9 is a typical restaurant. Why? Many times it's because you're not calculating food costs properly, whether ideal or actual. And sometimes that can come down to one thing called oil. So as I mentioned, oil is food. You buy it as food, you use it as food. It should be in a recipe costing card. So when we don't use it, we've got this cost. Now think about how expensive is oil? Every time you grab a tub of it and dump it in and recycle and get rid of the old oil, bring in the new oil. It's a lot of money. So when you run your food cost calculation of beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending use divided by sales, that food cost percentage is high because that use has been increased because you used gallon upon gallon upon gallon of fryer oil, which at a high cost. And I can tell you, I know this personally. When I was running a 30-unit restaurant sports bar chain as a franchisor, our top 3 purchases were chicken wings, oil, and burger patties. So if you missed oil in the recipe card, you were missing a lot. So now how do we calculate oil? I mean, how do you say, I'm dropping fries into that, I'm dropping onion rings, I'm dropping chicken wings, I'm dropping burritos, you name it. You're putting all these things into that oil. How the hell are you going to keep track? Well, we're going to go back to using the food cost calculation, but only for oil. So it starts with this. How much oil did you have on hand? Your beginning inventory by dollar value. I don't care about how many gallons or how many boxes. Don't care. I care about the dollar value. So I've got to do an inventory count, come up with what I paid for those boxes of oil and how much money that is. So that's my beginning inventory. That was my ending inventory from last period. Then all my purchases during this period, whether it's a week, a month, longer, does not matter. During that period in between 2 inventories, what did I purchase? So beginning inventory of oil, fryer oil, plus purchases of fryer oil tells me how much fryer oil I could use. Then I take an ending inventory at the end of the period. Beginning inventory plus purchases minus ending gives us use. That is a food cost calculation, but we're only doing it for fryer oil to come up with the dollar amount of fryer oil that is, well, gone. It's been used. So once I've got that, I then go to my point of sale system, the most expensive, cash register in the world, but actually the most important piece of equipment you'll ever purchase when you use it right. I'm going to run that PMix report again, but I'm going to just run it and find all the items that are fried. I'm going to count basically how many of each of those items, how many total fried onion items went into that fryer, right? What did the customer order? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many went through? Well, I take that number, thousands of customers, hundreds of customers, does not matter, divided into the dollar amount of use. How much fryer oil did we use? Left the shelves. So divide that in, I'm going to come up with 25 cents, 50 cents, $1. Does not matter what the number is. That now goes into the recipe costing card as oil factor. Now, how do I do this? I've got to add that to my software. It's not easy to do. Yes, it is. What you're going to do is create a vendor that's your restaurant. See, we've got products that we're going to use in our recipe cost cards all the time, like tap water. Well, I don't buy tap water from a vendor, so how do I add it into my recipes? Well, you create yourself as a vendor. And one of those products not only is tap water, but we're going to add this thing called oil factor. And so in it, we know what the cost is. And every time we run that calculation, we update that cost. We use that oil factor as an ingredient in all the fried items. Any fried item recipe costing card, we add that oil factor in. Now, when I price my fried items, I've got my oil included. And I'm making sure that I charge, which will ultimately lower my actual food cost because I'm charging properly. I'm accounting for fryer oil in each one of the fried items recipe costing cards. This can be a game changer. So when you think about it, have you done this? If not, make sure you set down the path because oil is food. Hey, I want to thank you for joining with me today and exploring the significance of the oil factor in your recipe costing cards. I want you to remember, mastering your food costs is not just about what's on the plate. It's about understanding every component, including the oil. This all contributes to your culinary creation and, more importantly, your costs. By adjusting your recipe cards to the oil, you're taking a crucial step towards more accurate food cost calculations and ultimately the financial freedom and prosperity you deserve as a restaurant owner. Be sure to join me live every Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, travel schedule permitting, where I'll get you pumped about the upcoming weekend, get you excited about crushing your goals and finding the motivation to be best you possible. Plus, I'll answer your burning questions live.